He was the only boxer who scared George Foreman.
Yeah. Were you ever scared of anybody in the ring? Now be honest. Ali? I mean,
it's strange. I wasn't afraid of Muhammad. I lost the title to Muhammad, but I remember Joe Frazier.
George Foreman was larger than life, not just in the boxing ring, but later in his life as a pitchman. Tonight, Foreman has died at the age of 76. Foreman's family releasing this on Instagram tonight, saying, quote, "Our hearts are broken. With profound sorrow, we announce the passing of our beloved George Edward Foreman Sr., who peacefully departed on March 21st, 2025, surrounded by loved ones."
This is Drew, and I'd like to welcome you back to Real Talk Today. Today is a sad day for boxing. A legend, one of the greats, George Foreman, has passed. And I wanted to put together a little montage of his life and what the man stood for. Be back in a moment.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind feels
Surrounded by loved ones. Foreman.
He was the only boxer who scared George Foreman.
Yeah. Were you ever scared of anybody in the ring? Now be honest. Ali? I mean,
it's strange. I wasn't afraid of Muhammad. I lost the title to Muhammad, but I remember Joe Frazier.
Fortunately for Foreman, he was the one dominating during their bout. He even managed to knock down Frazier twice in the first round. Frazier's lack of footwork made it difficult to defend against Foreman. Foreman's power was simply too much for Frazier, but nonetheless, he didn't give up. During the second round, Frazier was knocked down many more times until the referee finally stopped the match.
Toughest guy I'd ever seen. Yeah. Smoking Joe Frazier. My mother watched him fight on television, and he hit a guy so hard the guy turned his back. And I kept thinking, I want to be champ of the world, but I sure hope Joe Frazier died. It was time to fight Joe Frazier, and I knew if you hit him, he liked it. Yes. You miss him, he'd get upset, and I'm thinking, what am I going to do? But I had this habit of staring guys down. I look them in the eye to psych them out. And this time, if they dropped their head, I knew I had an advantage, but I was hoping Joe Frazier wouldn't drop his head because my knees were shaking.
Taking a punch. I think he hurt Joe Frazier. I think Joe is hurt. Angie Dundee, Ali's trainer, right next to me is saying it. You may hear him. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. He is as poised as can be. Frazier is dazed. You see the countdown for the first round. Foreman has not panicked. Foreman is going about his job. Foreman is all over Joe Frazier. Frazier is down again, and he may be. No, he is rising. He is game. He doesn't know where he is. Now the round is about to end. 2 knockdowns in the first round of Joe Frazier. Down again. No saving by the bell. He's up, and so the fight continues. 3 knockdowns in the first round by George Foreman. Now you're looking in slow motion. The right for the first knockdown. Clean as a whistle. Oh, what a first round. The slow-mo for the second knockdown. The right again. Clean as a whistle again. We're waiting for the start now of round 2. There was no question about the first round. 3 knockdowns. Now Joe is coming out at him. Wants to come back in a hurry. You'll not find a gamer man than Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier, who went down 3 times in the first round. A caution from Arthur Mercani. Oh, he is all over Frazier again. He has Frazier in the corner. Frazier's knees buckled. He is down. He is down for the 4th time in the fight. George Foreman is doing to Joe Frazier what he did as a 19-year-old to a veteran Russian, a fellow named Iona Shapulis, in October of 1968 in the Mexico City Arena. A quick left from George. Another. Frazier is down for the 5th time in this fight. 3 times in the first round, twice in the second. McCarney checked his senses, checked Frazier's senses. It's target practice for George Foreman. It is target practice. Frazier is ready to go again. Joe is standing. There he goes. 3 times. 3 times. The fight is stopped. No, it is not. It is not stopped. Angie Dundee is screaming, stop it. Bertie Pacheco, Ali's doctor next to me. It is over. It is over. It is over in the second round. George Foreman is the heavyweight champion of the world.
His ascension as dramatic as his fall to Muhammad Ali in the famed Rumble in the Jungle match, to lose his title.
Muhammad Ali.
Rumble in the Jungle.
Been chopping trees. I done something new for this fight. I done wrestled with an alligator. I'm so mean I make medicine sick.
The only guy I thought that I'd beat easily beat me. Muhammad Ali. I call it the mugging in the jungle, because I went there with 2 title belts, came back with nothing.
Separates the two fighters. Ali goes head hunting again. Oh, great left hand taken on the face of George Foreman. Ali fought 3 in a row that time. Foreman's right eye looking to be closed. Ali has tremendous look of confidence on that face.
Never would give up, never run into anything like that. Hit the guy with the hardest shots and looked like he said, I'm not going anywhere. And after so many rounds, I was tired.
These punches are landing, bouncing off the eye of the heavyweight champion of the world, George Foreman. Foreman has his work cut out for him. Via satellite, a video techniques presentation worldwide. Ali working to the head of George Foreman. Ali scores again with a light left hand. That time a straight left bounces the head back of Foreman. The quick short jab with the right hand bounces the head around of Foreman. Foreman looking to deliver the real heavy blows. Now he's bouncing better. Almost falls out of the ring. Very even fight. Ali, a sneaky right hand. Another sneaky right hand. This time he works over the shoulder of Foreman. Let's step on the head. 3, 4, 5, 6. Foreman gets up to the knee. 8. The fight is stopped. Muhammad Ali, a dramatic 8th round knockout. He knocked out George Foreman.
Yet after leaving the sport and becoming a minister, he returned to the ring over a decade later, a new man, and then miraculously recaptured the heavyweight title at the age of 45 against Michael Moorer, who was 19 years his junior. His popularity afterwards helped him make millions as a pitchman, and his George Foreman griller nearly eclipsed his boxing fame for a time.
In 1993, engineering and design duo Michael Bohm and Robert Johnson filed a patent for an all-new way to grill. Their invention was an electric cooking device with a lower plate that sloped downward at a 20-degree angle. With the inclusion of this sloped surface, any grease would run right out of the front of the grilling device and into a collection tray below, like a devastating ski slope accident. The duo then took their newly patented device to trade shows the nation over, referring to it to potential corporate buyers as the Fajita Express. They demonstrated how their invention's angled surface would provide the perfect slope for sliding meats into tortilla shells. This initial design even had a second tray apart from the grease collector, meant to hold taco shells in place for ease of sliding. Hey, that actually does sound like a great invention. Eventually, they found a buyer. The pair sold their patent to Sultan, a kitchen equipment manufacturer, known at the time for their juice extractors and pasta makers. Sultan tossed aside the Fajita Express name and gave their newly acquired product an all-new title. They called it the Lean, Mean, Fat-Reducing Grilling Machine. They soon sought out a spokesman for its release, and they had just the former heavyweight champion in mind. Sultan attempted to lure George Foreman into repping their electric grill by giving him one to try out for himself, and by offering him a hefty one-time paycheck. George was no stranger to the spokesman game, having previously lent his face to brands such as Doritos,
I was wrong.
and Meineke discount mufflers.
By George, I think he's got it.
But he initially turned Sultan down, citing that their grilling machine looked more like a toy than a real kitchen appliance. We're not really sure what toy he's thinking of. Maybe a real sad transformer? Despite his initial reluctance, Foreman would later joke that he'd meant to get into the grilling business all along. He once tweeted out that the idea came to him after being knocked out in his 1974 match with Muhammad Ali. He wrote that a piece of talking meat came to him then in a vision while he was down on the mat. Few people had been punched so hard they flew straight into a meat dream, but that's why Ali was the greatest. Another version of the story, probably the actual story, claims that after Foreman shoved Sultan's grill into some deep, dark corner of his home, his then-wife decided to try it out for herself. She made the pair some burgers on it, and the heavyweight champ's mind was changed in one juicy, savory instant. Foreman finally came around to the grilling machine after months of rejection. George got back into contact with Sultan and said he'd move forward with the branding deal, but he wanted all new terms from them. Rather than collecting an upfront paycheck for the deal, he insisted on a 45% cut of all the product's profits moving forward. Considering how many of these grills could be found in dorm rooms and studio apartments across America in the late 90s, that was a pretty good call.
No dorm should be without my grill. It's great for that late night snack.
But the legacy he leaves, to use a boxing analogy, is one where he could be down, but could never be counted out.
I'm beating this guy for 5 or 6 rounds. I'm in Africa. Yeah. It's hot. And I beat him up for the 6th round, the 7th round. Then when I thought I had him, I hit him in the side, and he fell on my ear, and he said, "That all you got, George?" I don't want to be defined like that. Okay. The rumble in the jungle. Man. I call it the mugging in the jungle.
I didn't talk a lot during that particular video because I think George Foreman's history, how he conducted himself, spoke for itself. I don't think I really needed to add a whole lot of anything. Seemed like he was definitely a great boxer and seemed like he was one hell of a man. And with that, I'll see you at the next one.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper.
Anxiety, filling up every space, no privacy.